Detective Brian Petrowski with the Austin Police Department Aggravated Assault Unit. We're here today to talk about an incident that happened on Tuesday, March 4th. On Tuesday, March 4th, approximately 2:22 p.m., members of the Austin Police Department, AISD Police, Austin Travis County EMS, and the Austin Fire Department responded to a reported shooting at 10701 South First Street, which is near the Aikens High School campus. 911 callers indicated that a juvenile was shot and other juveniles were seen running from the scene. When Austin police arrived on scene, it located one juvenile with a gunshot wound and immediately began life-saving measures until EMS arrived. EMS transported to a local hospital where he was in critical, stable condition. Officers on scene began speaking with witnesses and developed a suspect description, and they contacted members from the Austin Police Department Aggravated Assault Unit. Aggravated Assault Unit had several detectives respond to the scene and working with patrol, broadcast a suspect description. A short time later, two juvenile suspects were located within a mile of the scene. Patrol went out along with AISD police, I believe, and detained the two suspects. Due to the quick response of the patrol, one of the suspects detained was found in possession of a firearm. Due to the quick response of the patrol officers and detectives, enough information was collected to charge one of the juvenile suspects with aggravated assault and the second juvenile suspect with unlawful carrying of a weapon. Both suspects were transported to Garner Vets Juvenile Facility. At this time, there is no known threat to the public or the students of Aikens High School in regards to this incident. It is still an ongoing investigation, and anyone with information is asked to contact the Austin Police Department at 512-974-TIPS. You can submit tips anonymously through the Capital Area Crime Stoppers, and that's austincrimstoppers.org, or by calling 512-472-8477. And I think Chief Sneed with AISD Police is going to talk, and then we'll take questions, I think, after that.
Thank you, Detective Dalsey, and good afternoon. Welcome. I want to thank both the detectives and the uniformed officers of the Austin Police Department and Austin ISD Police Department for their quick and detailed work on this case, as was mentioned earlier. These are cases that we hope we never happen in our communities. Yet when they do, I'm thankful for the strong collaboration between the Austin Police Department and AISD PD. Because of our long history of working together, we work seamlessly to keep our communities safe. Again, thanks to all the officers involved and for their support of the Austin ISD and the Aikens community during this tragic and unfortunate event. And I'll turn it over to Steph.
Afternoon, Krista Stedman, Austin Travis County EMS. As the detective mentioned, we responded alongside the Austin Police Department and with our partners at the Austin Fire Department Tuesday afternoon for reports of a juvenile patient that sustained a gunshot wound. Once it was determined that the scene was safe by the APD officers on scene, Austin Travis County EMS medics found a juvenile patient that sustained a single gunshot wound to the back. They took actions on scene to stabilize them quickly and then transported that patient to a local trauma facility. During transport, the patient was in serious condition, but they were alert and talking and just had potentially life-threatening injuries. Just like everyone else said, we'd like to thank our partners with AISD PD and the Austin Police Department for their collaboration and making sure that we could save this child's life. Open up for questions.
Did the other two juveniles detained, did they also go to Aikens?
At this That would be a question actually better answered by AISD police since they have access to all the students that are enrolled.
So one of the students was a former student and one was an actual student.
So the one who was a student, he was at school that day in class and got out, or?
Well, as you guys know, we're talking about juveniles and student records, so there's very little we can discuss when it comes to a particular student without violating federal and state laws. So I can tell you that they were the two students that were detained. One was a former student, one was a current student.
Was this a normal time to be off campus?
School was in session.
Do we know what led up to the shooting?
Right now, at this point in the investigation, all we know is that it was a verbal altercation between the victim and the suspect. Yeah.
So do we know if one of the students had a gun in the campus?
At this point in the investigation, like I said, it's still ongoing, but the evidence we've gathered thus far does not indicate that the gun was on campus.
Will there be an increased police presence going forward at Aikens or any other campuses for the foreseeable future?
As in any case where we have a potential situation like this that occurs in and around our campus, we always add an extra police presence.
Do you know how long that'll last? Is it just for the investigation, or is it going to be, just like a week or a month?
We have it undetermined at this point.
What is currently being done on the campus to ensure safety for the students? Is there any kind of metal detectors, or what are the current protocols for security?
Our protocols are the same each day that we do this. Obviously, this did not happen on the campus. It happened close to the campus. As we all know, our campuses are not centered in a bubble, and so they are part of our community, which I mentioned earlier. And so, we always, all of our campuses, we ask that they're vigilant each day and continue to follow the protocols that we have in place. We feel like the protocols we have in place do ensure or help us to keep our campuses safe.
Can you share those protocols?
I don't want to go into details, unfortunately.
Continue to say juveniles. Can we get actual ages? How young are we talking?
The two juvenile suspects are 14 years of age and the victim was 17 years of age.
And of course, any case like this where someone is shot and seriously injured is a tragedy, but can you speak to the additional heaviness to this case given that kids this young were involved?
Well, especially for me because I do have kids starting to hit that age, and yes, it does kind of hit you a little bit different than any other type of incident, and especially because it happened within the close proximity to a school, it definitely feels different.
Juvenile had a gun. Are we looking at any adults who, obviously, they didn't get it legally?
So that's part of the ongoing investigation.
Since this did happen there at the school and did involve a student, how do you ensure parents that their kids are going to be safe at either Aikens or any other campus here in Austin ISD?
As I've mentioned before in many other press conferences that we've held, safety is our top priority. We are constantly evaluating our methods, the standards and protocols that we have in place to make sure that they're current with current practices in our nation, and we continue doing what we're doing.
Was AISD police on scene when that happened? Were you guys quickly respond?
AISD police, as it was explained earlier, were present with APD at the multiple locations where the suspects were apprehended, but also at the scene of where the incident occurred.
We'll take one more question.
Are these juveniles known to y'all? Do they have history?
Some do have just a little bit of history, and then
The suspects?
I really can't get into that one as far as what their specific history was.
But they're known to y'all.
They are documented in our database. Yes, the two suspects.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.